20%.
If you got, if you think that's a good one to follow, that's it.
Well, or maybe incorporate some layer like this, and then the end of it, you know, that there's areas where there are areas that would go into there. Certainly, that didn't cover as well.
But also they really don't be
Yes,
weird.
would it be less changing to move some of this into that?
Yeah, yes.
There we go. There you go.
But that's when we start with this.
Yes. So then, reword it to Taylor County. And then go through it next time, they walk through each section.
Was there any went through the, what's in the last place, Crystal? Waterford. They were been making the, it was like, footballs. Yeah, they were government, they came right down to the farming area and stuff like that right away, but.
Waterford's beautiful, we were down there once. So, south of Dublin West, and even the next place we went to.
But every place you go, it's Guinness.
Guinness for strength, Guinness for health. Yeah. Well, that's all I can say.
Didn't update when I was in college. We had the Guinness Hero now. There was why it was putting those down and that all.
I like, yes, I think it's pretty good. I like the black and tan. Black and tan, they mix it with regular beer.
Yeah. People, they have, they have celebrities. When it's a small town is like Buckingham, and they have a local pub there and so on, and sit down and get some, to get a little feed and have a local people in there, and it didn't feel like, they had a good restaurant. Pretty good, that, well, we just catch a little conversation about, what he had to do on his tractor, he's broken, everything that, stuff like that.
You know, well, I got those tagged.
And then get home everywhere.
Oh.
Don't take any more papers than you actually need.
Ready to discard it.
I went through, got rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
Just gotta do it once in a while.
Well, if you see any ordinances, I've got rid of them all.
I've got it, I'm ready to do it. How you feeling, Josie?
As long as I don't start coughing, we're good. It's warm, dry weather would be wonderful if we stay on. It sounds good, sounds like it's gonna start.
You got one more day and I got the low humidity tomorrow.
Yeah.
Beautiful day.
Except for the wet grass. I hate that.
Sounds like it's gonna be foggy again in the morning too,
You see something else.
which means we got, what, 90 days and we're gonna have some really rotten weather. I think
Yeah,
that's the
saying,
same,
isn't it?
yeah. Between a freeze and a blizzard, one or the other. That only gets us into October. It could be a long winter if that starts.
Hope that's not true.
Jeepers.
So go back to work next week, so.
Week from today.
From yesterday,
No, that's too soon, isn't it?
it is, but that's okay.
Good.
I'm rejuvenated.
Good.
Rejuvenated.
Time to get back
I
with the
like
kids.
kids again, yeah. I can
To me, you
handle
don't.
You're
it.
what,
Second grade,
Second.
second grade. I
Second
used to
grade.
teach kindergarten.
That'd take a
Yeah,
while.
I believe when
Yeah.
they entered it, it was just no longer. They stopped, they.
I'm assuming that's before they get too attitude, the second grade.
Second grade, they're kind of at that perfect age. They're not sassy. They still are good
Kind of
listeners.
innocent, yeah, aren't they?
Yeah, third grade, they start to get a little sassy. Fourth and fifth grade. Nothing.
Laura, you ready to start?
Not 6 yet.
It is now, ain't it?
Is it?
Or I got one more minute.
I'm ready to start if you wanna start.
I gotta do my. Meeting to order, let's, pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the
United States
of
of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
One
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There we go.
Oh, boy. You're all right. You're not all right. Well, we need to approve an agenda. Everybody have an agenda in front of them?
Move the agenda.
I second.
Then moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approved our agenda. Now let's approve our previous minutes. We want to take a little time to read through those. They look all right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded to approve our motion, our minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Opening remarks by our administrator.
Thank you to the public who have come and are online. This is our second public hearing. We made some significant changes last week, so we thought we needed the second one. If anyone would like to comment, please keep it short to about 3 minutes. And we'll, go through, if anyone has comments up here first, then we'll open public comment or public hearing. When we're done with comments, we'll close public hearing and then you can do your vote if you want to recommend what we have or if you want to make more changes. Okay, then we'll move on to other things if we get done early. Sound good?
Yeah, it went right through my brain. You said opening, you wanna have,
If
Any
anything,
opening
we have
remarks?
discussion first before we open public hearing, or we can go straight to opening public hearing, either way.
do we go roll call vote on that public hearing now, or is that something different? We just go into it, don't we?
I think a motion in a second would be fine,
Okay.
just to be safe.
Do you have any comments that were emailed or sent to you?
I have not seen any comments, either verbal or written, nothing to me, so it'd only be the people that are attending if they have other comments.
Or if we hear the public?
Have any of you guys heard any comments? Okay. Should we
I think my solar, hold on, when.
do a motion in a second to go into public hearing then?
And then we can hear our public comments if there are some. All right.
Will we go into public hearing?
A second.
Then moved and seconded to go into public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We're in public hearing. We'll hear from the public if anyone wants to comment.
Well, I would just like to say, I think it's really important to get this done. I have seen, I was in Wisconsin and saw a huge solar thing, but it wasn't on the best of land, so I could maybe give it. I thought if this was around here on the good land, it would be awful. I mean, I was with my kids and they were even commenting how bad it just was not good. We won't go into wind, but I could say something there too. But I like this 60 CSR. I like, and we spend a lot of time working on this. And I guess the one proposed, solar that was supposed to maybe go in, I mean, on the best land ever, that should never happen. Never. I mean, our kids or our grandkids or even the kids after that will just say, what the HEW were they thinking when they allowed this to happen? So, I appreciate that you're working hard on it, and I don't think I have too many, negatives of anything that you've done.
Not too
Thank you
many.
for doing, not too many. Well, there's one or two, but now I've been really busy today. I don't have time to think about this, what I'm gonna say. I just wanna make sure, you have the decommissioning type of thing. I don't know. Okay, and I don't know what that is exactly.
Pretty well hammered that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
we spent a lot of time on that.
Okay. Well, then, I'm gonna get through this whole book.
That's what we've been struggling to do for the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, I reiterate with her, thank you guys for put it an enormous amount of work and effort, and I certainly hope it is acknowledged by the supervisors too.
Well, we appreciate the good comments. Thank you.
I just want to say thanks. You guys have spent so much time. I mean, I was just sitting here looking at the setbacks and saying, you guys did a lot of work. And just to follow up what, was said, this board of supervisors now has to listen to you guys and allow the ordinances to be taken into consideration on any future, building projects. And we have to be careful what the board of supervisors is thinking of doing. And I do not know exactly what they're thinking. On Monday, I'm gonna ask them point blank, what's going on? So I was busy this last Monday working a funeral, so I couldn't be here, but, I'll be here Monday morning. So, but thank you for what you've done. So. And I believe you guys should make a point, being at the supervisor meetings too, to let the board know that what you've done is important. And they need to allow any future projects to go through the ordinance and get passed through that and through the Board of Adjustment. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That comment brings me to a question for you, Laura. You had texted me about attending the Board of Supervisors meeting that we'll hear when we present this.
Yes.
What date is that?
If we, vote to recommend what we have tonight, you guys all agree on it. I did prepare, a recommendation and see if you like the wording, we could sign it, we can have it on the agenda for Monday. So we could present your recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. They can't approve it straight up because they need their own public hearing. But you can, that would be when we're presenting it to them, handing it off to them. This is what you have, this is what you've approved. Karen said we could get that on Monday's agenda.
That's the 18th, right?
Yes. So I know Steve can't come. He'll be with us in spirit, right?
Yeah.
I'm back at work.
Already, wow.
This coming Monday already,
This
if
coming
we
Monday already.
sign off on it
If you
tonight.
guys go for it and sign off on it, the way it is, no changes, we can get it on Monday's agenda.
That's at 8 AM or 8:30?
The public comment starts at 8:30, so it would be possibly after the engineering, so what, about a quarter after, or quarter till? Yeah, something like that.
And then we,
I'll check.
8:45?
Check the agenda. I would maybe be here by 8:30, because that's when
And will we be on the agenda, the board,
on the
voting
agenda,
board presenting the
yes.
utility scale?
Yep.
Well, I will try to make that. Is there any chance of you making it wait or?
Okay,
If you guys
then
can't, I can do
I
it,
could
but
try, yeah,
it
I
would-
can,
So
Okay.
Jody or Wade could try. That's this Monday already.
yeah.
in the morning.
In the morning at.
so
What
I
year?
might need to be there, but it would be good coming from you guys, since you're the ones in case they have.
I think Richard's right. The more support
Yeah.
we have presenting it, saying that we've put a lot of effort into this, and if I speak for the rest of the board, saying the hours and hours that have been put behind this and the thought,
If any of you would like to send, written comments, you could either send them to Karen, or, I mean, I could pass them on for you as well. In your support, I mean, obviously, if you're all voting on it, that is support, but if you have additional comments you would like to send to the board, you could either send those to Karen, or, I guess I could pass them on for your planning to be there on Mondays. Linda's online. Linda, did you have any comments you wanted to add while we're in, public hearing? Either chat or unmute yourself.
Who you got, Laura?
Linda is online, guessing Moeller, but I'm not positive. Great job by the board. Thank you. So that's comment from Linda. Yep, great job by the board. So I believe everybody has spoken.
I see one more thing.
Yes, Carolyn, you may say one.
Do we have, I didn't have time to really look through this good, but do you have anything in here about they have to have a bond? So that, you know, okay, that is in here, okay, because that's my next fear is that they're gonna go broke and it's gonna go down the tubes and, you know, and yeah, they're gonna do everything until they're not, so, okay.
And also, the landowner is also their obligation.
Okay.
To sign on.
Okay, I'll look through this one.
And this will be the version that we send to the supervisors if they vote on it tonight. And so they'll have to have their own hearing. If they make any changes, you'll have time to review the next hearing is come.
Okay.
Everybody else good? Can I get a motion and a roll call vote to come out of public hearing?
I'll move that we come out of public hearing.
A second.
Got moved and seconded to come out of public hearing. Laura, roll call vote.
Jody,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
and C.
Aye.
All right, we're out of public hearing at 6:12. So the next part was, officially voting on recommending what we have to the supervisors.
One question, does this need to be looked at by legal again before we do that?
It will be looked at by legal before the supervisors do their public hearing, I believe.
That's all I just want to make sure I'm past legal ones.
Yep, so since they have the option to make any revisions,
So what do we need to do then, just make a motion that this be presented to the board of supervisors at Monday's meeting?
yep, and I would suggest a roll call vote, just to be safe again, for this, and I do, like I said, I have a document ready for Doug to sign, if you guys do wanna vote for that, so.
Make a motion, we take this to the meeting on Monday.
And your recommendation, all right,
I'll
Steve,
second.
Wade,
Then moved and seconded
let's
to
do call vote.
present this to the Board of Supervisors Monday. This, utility scale solar energy ordinance for Tama County. Laura will do a roll call vote.
Jody,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Wade,
Aye.
and Steve.
Aye.
Okay, so I've prepared this, statement. Zoning Commission recommendation to the Board of Supervisors on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Tama County Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider the utility scale solar energy ordinance draft. This is a newly created ordinance and would not replace or invalidate any existing ordinances. After much research and review, the Zoning Commission has finalized their ordinance for submission to the Board of Supervisors. The Zoning Commission voted 5-0 to approve the current draft of the utility scale solar energy ordinance for recommendation to the Tama County Board of Supervisors for their approval. Does that sound acceptable?
Yes.
All right, so we'll just have Doug sign that and, tonight.
And for notes, Steve, and then it is legally looked at.
Yes,
We don't have any,
I
no, we don't have any spells on here.
I will mention that to them. I know that they were likely going to send that to legal anyway, but in case they made any changes, this way it'd only go through legal once instead of multiple, time taking up their time, multiple time paying for it if we go to some other legal besides the county attorney.
It's been reviewed once, but it was a long time ago. and
They
A lot of,
created it, yeah.
it was a lot of changes since then.
So yes, they will take it through legal, so there may be some of those types of changes. Hopefully it won't totally invalidate all the work you've done. So with that done, we can move on.
We ought to have a party. What a relief. Well, I look at my agenda and I see there's no more comments on utility scale solar, if I get it right. We'll begin discussion on the review of the ordinance of our WEX, is that how we pronounce that? WECS,
That is the abbreviation.
Wind Energy Conversion System. I don't know if all of you received my message or not. I left you all a message yesterday or this morning that I was encouraging you all to spend a few minutes tonight or whatever it takes to just voice your opinion on what direction we should go with this wind energy conversion system ordinance. And I will also address it myself, so we kind of get it out in the open, but amongst us board members. Does anybody want to volunteer to be first? This is nothing to be put on the hot seat or anything. I just want to kind of hear where you're coming from.
After you called the other day, I happened to be at the state fair with the Knights of Columbus doing our Tootsie Roll deal, so I was asking everybody, what are your thoughts on wind? And they're all Tama County residents, they all, there's farmers, there's, businessmen, there's everybody. And I had several really good comments. I remember one specifically, he said, I used to be really for it. I really thought that was gonna be a great way to do energy. And he said, looked like it'd be a super way to do it. And he says, I'm less and less for it all the time. He said, when I drive around and see these things, he said, I don't like them as well. I don't know. He says, and then I hear all the problems they're having, oil leaks and lightning strikes and everything else. And I don't know if that's the way to go or not, or now or not. So, and I tell you what, guys, that's just exactly where I'm at. Used to think, I thought this would be just a no-brainer. That, would capture that wind but you see so many of these. We drove down to Texas a couple weeks ago, and they're all over Texas, everywhere down there. And maybe that's where they need to be, is in Texas, out in the desert, or out in some of that dry land prairie where they got cows running underneath them.
That's what I asked you if there were cattle running under.
Yeah, they're what they call pasture,
Right.
is
50 acres to support a cow
yeah,
or something
exactly.
like that.
But that's where they should be,
Yes.
because they're not bothering anybody. There's very few people living out there. And, so my opinion is kind of, but you also need to think about, everybody wants to flip a switch and have lights come on. And if we can't build coal, and apparently you can't use coal anymore. That's what they tell us anyway. You got enough coal for 300 years, 400 years out there in the Powder River Basin alone, but we can't use it anymore.
Here, in China.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But anyway, so we're not supposed to be able to use coal or not build new coal plants. So what's the alternative? Natural gas is about the only thing that, there is right now that you can use as a base load. They're bringing back nuclear. I don't know. They always say it's safe, and they always say, and then until the next one blows up, so I don't know what the answer is, guys, but I'd like to, make sure that if we do build some more wind in Tama County, that it's done to the best of our ability. I mean, we make sure it's not using good ground. It's not doing things that are going to impact future generations, just like you said. I don't want to, I think we need to be very careful with what we do with this.
Thank you.
He really nailed it. I think I just came back from Ireland, and people in Ireland are so global warming conscious. I've never seen anything like it. Every little thing, you can't cut down a tree without planting another tree. It's just totally that way. And windmills and solar and all that stuff. But driving out through the country, I started seeing signs: no more wind, no wind, and the same thing with solar. I can show you. I didn't get a picture. I've got to be booked up, and I'd be by it in these narrow little roads. But I did get one of the solar. How they don't want it. It's got to be done correctly. It's just, and I think our solar ordinance does that. If we get something in and it's on the right areas and it's done the right way, it's good and it can contribute. But we need the same thing with wind, because after the experience they've had, and that was the same way being an engineer, I thought windmill was just absolutely the best way to go. That's what we pump water with and so on. And then seeing how so many of them were just plain abusive and didn't follow a good engineering plan. It was all, they found out, the way it looked to me, is like they followed a plan that was more financially rewarding than what it was personally rewarding to the culture and future generations. And if we have to make so that the financial reward is not the highest priority, that where they are fit, they fit where they belong, and we don't cause flicker and mental problems with small children and things like that, we allow to happen. So we need a good ordinance, not something you just wipes out on the prevent it, but a good sound ordinance that makes a fit where they're used. So I think it's gonna be another, just a serious effort, getting public input, things like that, but.
Well,
I
when
can
does,
see
yeah, go ahead, I'm
the
sorry.
same thing in Dublin, the people living in the cities that didn't put up with it, you know, they think it's great, put them out there in this beautiful farm country and that, but,
Not in my backyard.
yeah, but not in this.
If wind is so good, why is Germany taking it all down? I mean, they are, you know,
Right.
right up there up front as far as being
But
electrically and engineering ways being right up front, and they're taking theirs down because of the problems. And all we getting fed into this county is the tax base is gonna be so much greater. My taxes have doubled since the Vienna went in. I'm in the shadow of Vienna. I have the noise. Nobody asked me about it. And where does one person's property rights begin and another one's ends? I know we all see what's going up, and the electricity that's produced from these towers does not stay here. Iowa does not benefit. It goes to Chicago, it goes to St. Louis, and maybe quite possibly it'll be going to Minneapolis. I don't know where exactly it's going, but I know it does not stay here in Iowa. Yet we are the ones that have to tolerate what is being done to our landscape. And I don't think it's right. I don't think the majority of Tama County citizens have cast their vote. Look what we have now for Board of Supervisors. The people that want the towers, they're the ones that are financially gonna benefit. It's not gonna benefit the county. I have not seen anybody's taxes go down, nowhere. And that's what these NextEra and all these people keep saying, we're gonna get more, you know, you're gonna have a bigger tax base, you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that. I haven't seen it with the 50-some towers that are in there. And so, no, I think we need to look at other people's property rights besides the people that are putting up these towers.
Thank you.
Well, it seems like solar and wind come up a lot anymore when you're doing a lot of research. They just pop up, and I've gone from thinking of it as green energy. It's not green energy, it's alternative energy, because it takes a whole lot of fossil fuels to get these things up and going. And it takes a whole lot of mining to get the solar going. And of course, you know, there's problems and stuff, and yet we don't get to keep the electricity. The tax thing, I think that's more, it's not so much our taxes are going up. Our taxes are never gonna go down. There's too many things going on now. It's more like that tax money coming in to go to schools and things like that. I don't know. I teach down in Laurel. I had not asked to see, you know, I need to ask them to see if they get any money from that Laurel Wynyard down there. I would hate to see Tama County become some kind of energy hub, you know. I think we were in danger not too long ago of becoming a CAFO hub, you know, with all these hog confinements everywhere. I don't really have an opinion on whether or not, you know, like the look of windmills, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me about windmills is the oil leaks. I don't like it's not recyclable. I don't like that I think they gaslit people on, you know, if there's extra energy, it's gonna come back to you. I think there's a lot of that. But the other stuff, I don't really have an opinion on that. When you were talking about nuclear, France is 65% of their energy comes from nuclear. And I do know, I was just reading they're starting more nuclear initiatives. And I'm sure they can make that safe. I mean, that would be where your green energy is gonna come from.
Well, if they can make them smaller. and
Right.
If they can put them in a damn submarine, why can't they, build a state?
When you go down and run around for a month under,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's got to be a way to do it and do it cost effectively. And something like that, I think makes all kinds of sense.
The problem is we have a crumbling grid. We have a very old crumbling grid. It's not gonna last much longer. And then we're gonna be in a world of hurt.
And I've heard electricity demand will almost double by 2035.
They're predicting over the next few months that our energy bills are gonna go sky high.
Yeah.
We are exporting more LNG than, than we should, which is gonna be a problem. I don't know if I was gonna have windmills and everybody needs to share in that, that doesn't need to be a Tama County thing. And I get Benton County, they rule against that. I think when it comes down to it, our government, they're gonna do whatever they want. So, we can say, we don't want this, we're gonna write this ordinance, but if it comes around to the state of Iowa says, too bad, they'll come in and do it anyway. So, we're kind of SOL that way.
Problem is, these towers have been funded by the American taxpayer. If they wouldn't have been the tax provisions, these towers would have never been built.
Right.
They're all
But
funded by us, and now we have to look at them,
Right.
and we have to deal
But
with
we have no control anymore. I mean, they're not listening to us anyway. The government stopped listening to us a long time ago. They're using our money to do what they want. We just have to go with that.
They only wanna hear from us every time there's an election.
So I don't know. I just know that we have a crumbling grid. I think it'd be great if every farm had their own little windmill and their own little solar panels.
Exactly.
That's expensive.
or
So,
nuclear.
Yeah.
So,
put a little nuclear reactor in your backyard.
With solar on your roof.
Well, what's gonna happen with even the local solar or the personal solars if the government takes away that tax break? I mean, that's what they come door to door and tell you, you're gonna have this big tax deal because, they're gonna cut it off your taxes. You put this amount of money into a solar array and you're gonna get that off your taxes. Well, first of all, you gotta have taxes that you can take $35,000 off of. I mean, not everybody has that. And you're still gonna pay for it. Sure, they say, well, you don't pay the utility company anymore, you're gonna pay us. And I'm going, well, what difference does it make? I gotta pay somebody. And all this stuff ends up being owned by Alliant, Mid-America. They still own whether it's gonna be the Monster Solar or the windmills, all the big energy companies own them. I don't see where it's gonna give us a tax break and they put millions of dollars. So somebody's gotta pay for that millions of dollars. It's still gonna not cut our power bills. We're still gonna pay for it. So, I don't know. But like you said, the governor now, I mean, I voted for her all these years, but with her saying, green energy is the way it goes, and I'm going, wait a second. That's from the other side of the coin pushing that, not your side.
what this all does is put a lot of responsibility that we have a good sound ordinance. And we make
Get it,
work,
yeah,
but
because this one is
reach, yeah. And hopefully, the state doesn't run over us and we have a sound ordinance that we do get is done correctly.
you're right.
And it's gonna be, I don't think if Bill has Steve has a good one to start with. We've had experience now working through one phase, so.
Let's just fill in the blanks instead of utility scale solar, let's put wax.
Something for a template that you've
At
got.
least we got something to go by.
Yeah, you've got something to go by. They've put a lot of thought and effort into this and have got several, systems in their county. And they've learned a lot from it and so it's a 38-page.
And which county is that?
Worth County.
Or they've got them up north.
Yeah, I looked through Chickasaw County, I looked through Floyd County, I looked through, this one was the best place on the far, I thought. But that's just my judgment again too, guys, I don't, you know.
It's Fort Dodge,
Worth is, way north, it's up.
Joyce
way
Lake
further north
Mills,
than that.
it's right on the interstate, there's a casino,
Yeah.
that casino up there.
One up there, there's a bunch of.
Okay, just right on the line.
Just a quick side note, I believe that ordinance got approved in the last few years, which was after most of their wind towers up there had been built, so.
Had been built, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the towers are done based on that ordinance up there, but they have that solid ordinance to go forward with.
They're not mounting anymore probably, aren't they? Or less or not?
Well, they wanted to do it right, they learned from what I think that's what I would say, they learned a lot by those other ones going in, and they had a fairly poor ordinance before that.
What happened with Worth County is they didn't have an ordinance.
Yeah, they.
And so the big companies came in and took massive advantage of them.
Yeah.
And the people that were there got together and put through that ordinance so that any more they come in. And I think they might still be in litigation because they put that ordinance in.
That's okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure is.
people get sued all the time, I'm
Yeah,
not scared of that, but you need to write an ordinance that's strong enough that
correct.
impacts what you're doing out there, I mean, you know,
There was
they got
a,
taken advantage of, exactly.
Or
they
basically,
got taken advantage of.
Same.
Massive.
Same thing here.
we're basically Worth County a
Exactly.
few years ago, or a few years fast forward, however
We
you want
are
to word it.
just
Yes, yes.
same scenario, a little ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna give my opinion. I think everybody should have a windmill, but a small windmill. More efficient than our old windmills that we used, that our fathers and grandparents did. But if I had my say so, we'd have this thing over with in one meeting. I'd say, we're gonna model it after Benton County. Nothing over 60 CSR is allowed other than prime farm ground. And I gotta watch myself because I don't wanna come across that negative, but that's how I feel. Andrew and I have driven to the solar farm over there by, yeah, Palo,
Yeah.
made me sick from the stomach. I drive by, I don't even have to see them up yet. We drove by Craig Sash's and seeing all those roads going out to the fields through beautiful black dirt. I've got a neighbor that feels the same way as I do.
Yeah, they took a different route there.
But
They could go.
why aren't the windmills turning up here at the John Deere?
I have,
They do sometimes and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they
I
don't use it very
never
often.
see them turning.
Oh, I do,
I-
they're just, they're in my vision, so I can see them, they turn a lot. Yeah, I think they're probably,
don't turn a lot.
But you think if the wind was blowing, they'd be going,
I don't know, but they're always on when I go by, so.
Another thing I wanna say is, to me, green energy has become green the dollar bill energy. That's it.
Well, it's the government picking winners, and I hate pick, you know.
Yes.
When you come in and pick, you know, you gotta have an electric car. How many times do we hear that? Everybody was gonna have an electric car by 2035, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's bull.
And we do have whether you know, this is as bad as Republicans and Democrats as far as whether you're in favor of wind or not, but we do have a president now that has said he doesn't like them. And whether he'll back it up, you know, we'll wait and see, I guess.
Maybe he'll go back to being able to use coal.
You never know.
We had plenty of it.
There's gotta be a way to use.
And the scrubbers, the air coming out of them are so clean now. I mean, we get
No,
more,
it's not,
well, it's
the one in
cleaner than what
North Dakota-
Canada
One in North
is.
Dakota, they spent billions of dollars, and they tried to make clean coal, they call it clean coal,
Well,
and it's not.
it's not clean coal. It's what they do to the exhaust when it comes out. It's more that than what the
Yeah,
coal
there's still-
itself is.
There's still a lot of problems with that, and they've got to have some technology built.
Have you ever been up across the Canadian border, north of Montana,
Sure.
where all the coal from Canada is mined right there? And what do they have sitting right there? They're coal generating plants. Where does the air from that come? Good old USA, because the wind comes out of Canada. Doesn't bother them. They're generating all kinds of electricity, and we buy that electricity and bring it right here to the United States. So why can't we burn it here in our country?
We had acid rain, we had a few things, there's a lot of.
Oh, yeah, there's acid rain,
The coal is not the greatest thing. We just gotta figure out a way to burn it or
right?
to make other fuel out of it.
When we quit burning coal, then I had to start buying sulfur to put on my corners.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
If I've learned anything through all these last several years is we need to be in touch with our representatives more than we used to be. We can't just sit back and think, well, somebody else will do it, you know, some other organization will do it. Well, those organizations need to hear from us. You know, and I hate to get so negative that we throw up our hands and say, well, we can't do anything about it, government can do what they wanna do, but we are the government. In a sense, at the grassroots.
What you're saying, we also need to listen to Tama County residents.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and that's what we did. We listened to whoever spoke. I was talking to somebody not too long ago and, you know, they said they were not happy with the direction we went. And I said, well, where you been? You haven't been in any meetings. You haven't sent any emails. You're talking to me, but I'm not, you know, I'm not your messenger. I'm not, you know, we have 5,000 people in the rural areas that we represent. If you want something done, you have to say something. It's when you go to vote, that vote counts. So if you want something done, you say something. I said, where you been for the last couple of years?
Yep.
You know, I can count on one hand the amount of people that sent us emails or talked to us in person. That was 4. We had 4 people that said they were for industrial solar. 4, got them written down. And then on the other hand, how many people were against? I can't even count.
3 of them work for the solar company.
Well, and these,
Oh, we're
no,
talking about-
no, the 4, but this Tama County citizens, we had 4 Tama County citizens that came to us.
Yeah.
And said, we want this, 4,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. And then I have this folder is filled with all the emails from the Tama County citizens and the notes that I made that were against it. I can't even count them. So I think we did what they wanted. And if it would have been thousands of them coming in saying they wanted, it could have been a whole different thing.
Sure.
Cause we're not here for us, we're here for them.
All right,
That's exactly right.
Could I say something?
sure.
We worry about, but the government's gonna do whatever they want. But you know what? We can elect, yeah, you had said that, we can elect people that are, you know, that are not gonna do eminent domain. You know, up in my area, Dayside,
never have been elected because he, you know, Cedar Falls, they didn't vote for him, but we made the difference and Tama County made the difference. That's how he got elected and he listens. He is at meetings. He was sitting here at the Board of Supervisors. So, you know, I'm not giving up on the people that we elect, you know, that they're gonna do whatever they want. You know, not in Iowa anyway. You know, you can speak up and you can get right people in there. Anyway, that had nothing to do with this, but
It does indirectly.
and
We appreciate your comments.
Oh,
Yeah.
For the next meeting, we all look up the Worth County ordinance and then talk about the other ones that after reading that you think have some significant features that we should incorporate or things to be enlightened about. Part of the ordinance, anything in the ordinance.
38 pages roughly.
Oh, 36 pages worth of sign page.
And we're 31 over solar, so
Yeah.
it's comparable.
It's comparable. It's really, I made some bunch of notes in this one already, but it's got,
Okay, you want to just read a couple of the things that you think are significant?
Can I tell you quick how big ours is?
5 and this.
yeah.
I think we're insufficient.
A couple, and I just read through it today again, I just, a couple things that really stood out to me, no eminent domain. You know, they really emphasized that, they brought that out, you will not use eminent domain, and that's spelled out in here, so. And then costs, they really are, you know, there's a $25,000 fee for this, a $5,000 fee for this, if you, when you ask for your permit.
You didn't just speak.
No, I didn't. So they have, and that's all part of the permitting process. So they're, You know, and then they also, on the decommissioning, really had some good thoughts on that, I thought. I mean, way to fund it, it had to be funded, everything had to be laid out and I just like the way they did it. They started with definitions of everything. There's about 4 pages of just definitions of all the terms of aside for ambient noise study in the area. Because they said people are really noise from these. And, you know, so if there's a noise complaint, you know, they can go out and address that. They've got the funds to do that. And I think they've thought through a lot of it. Things that we would probably never think of yet.
They've had it for so long, probably.
Yeah, that's it. They've experienced it. And saw some of the drawbacks and some of the other hurdles in the area. So I think, you
Who
know,
better to draw from than someone who's had experience in
exactly,
it?
yes, learn some other people's mistakes.
You learn from somebody else's
And
pain.
to me, one of the scariest things is the subaudible noise that you can't hear, because you don't know what's going on. But it's a military weapon, subaudible noise, and there were a lot of them that would have how many decibels and so on, but what is? I've never been able to find anything that said this is the safe
Right?
subaudible sound. And if the wind is blowing that way or this way, when you think that in World War II, that was a military weapon, the subaudible noise. And it still is used places.
It's used in movie theaters to get the audience
What's that?
feel in, yeah. That they've been using it in movie theaters
Huge.
to get the audience feeling.
Good talk, because I talked to Bob Hughes, who was our former superintendent.
And he was very involved in this over in Buchanan County, fighting wind turbines. And he said to this date, there is not a US or a government recognized law that says you can only have so much noise from a wind turbine or so much. What you were saying, there is nothing to regulate it.
Well, there's sounds you can hear, but then there's the subaudible ones. You can't hear them, but they are absolutely affecting you. When Mayo Clinic has wind turbine syndrome,
Right?
that's a definition of a thing, then when they're seeing.
That tells you something's wrong somewhere, doesn't it?
So some of those things are things you can sense to come up, so that the ordinance has to address those features, you know, like what the flicker can be and how much of the noise, audible noises and then sub-audible noises. And some of them are categorized by different frequencies, and this frequency can be this much and this one is so much. And of course, a lot of those things, you know, you remember as a kid back in the days when they were railroads, if the wind was from this way and they were blowing the whistle over in Buckingham, oh my. Wow, you know when the trains are going through town.
I'm north of Garwin, and I can hear it when it goes through Montour. If the wind's out of the south, I can hear the train whistles in Montour.
And if it's blowing this way and the wind is coming through this turbine, it's like waves going down the river. So we need to address those things.
Was there anything that, in an ordinance that you read, like up in Worth, about the stray electricity that comes off those towers?
The what now?
The stray electricity that comes off those towers?
I didn't see that specifically. I read through it today, but they really do a big job on setbacks here. They've got all the setbacks laid out, and I like building site property lines greater than 1,600 feet or 3.75 times the total height of the structure.
3.75.
Yeah, so I thought, you know, that's 1,600 feet, that's a pretty good setback.
1/4 mile.
And, public recreation area is 1/2 mile. Public conservation area is 1 mile. Significant bodies of water, 1/2 mile. They have some pretty good sized setbacks.
What about the active eagle nest? It's supposed to be 5 miles, and that's by the DNR. And they got Vienna up there. There's active eagle nest at Union Grove Lake, and they're within 5 miles.
They have,
Nobody says anything about that. And we got active eagles up.
okay,
On Wolf Creek?
they are recognized eagle nest, 1 mile.
DNR says 5.
Okay, they got 1 mile.
Yeah,
I think one's, you know, I don't,
that's not very far, really. As far, I mean, eagles,
Travel far in a hurry.
yeah.
You could be out in the winter time and spread a load of manure with baby pigs in it, and all of a sudden you got 10 eagles there within a day or within less than a day.
Yep.
Where'd they come from? They sensed it, something.
Usually down along the Iowa River and the whole creek has
I've
got
seen it happen.
Otter Creek.
I'd like to bring up a challenge to the board. I'm a little tired of landowners building turbines on their property somewhere else besides where they live.
I agree.
I would like to call something a good neighbor policy in our ordinance, but I don't know how to deal with it if they live in town. That's one of the,
It's a
Problem.
requirement that
Challenges.
anybody puts up a tower, they have to live on the property where the tower is being erected.
that's a possibility.
May get some fight back on that since a lot of people do not.
That's
live
not our
in
problem.
county.
That's their problem. That's their
Well-
problem, not ours.
But yet, it's affecting us. It's
Well,
affecting
I
us
think
more.
that might be unreasonable only because if you're looking where these turbines are, they have to be so far from residences anyway. And so a lot of these fields are going in, where they're at, they are pretty far away. So, I mean.
But they're not living on the property. The ones that are going up now, nobody
I-
lives there.
Right, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can live very close to those. There's a reason for that.
But you can live closer than your neighbor that you're putting it on.
Yes,
That's what bothers me.
there are a couple, I can think of two for sure that are sited much closer to other people than they are to their own home,
Mm-hmm.
which is outrageous. It's like what they used to do with the hog buildings. They put it on the edge of their property, close to their,
They don't get the, yeah.
yeah. So that, I mean, that is an issue.
It's a can of worms. They're gonna say, well, that's my right. I'm a property owner. But what about your neighbor's right? Where does that right end and begin, like Jody mentioned?
Well, and I always wonder too, they put it on their property and they say, well, that's my property, or they, but it's way up in the air. How far up do they own? Do they own, I haven't seen that anywhere. Do they own 200 foot, 300 foot? How far up do they own?
Is it possible to
I mean,
put a limit on the height of structures within the county? 100 feet? I mean, there isn't gonna be a grain elevator that's over 100 as far as on a farm.
On the ordinance, you could put in the ordinance, whatever, like how many KW you want, or how, what the height and stuff of this type of structure is, just like on a house, if it's a 3-story house or 2-story house. We don't have the overall height, but we.
I know Maverick's got a regulation of how high a building can be in town. Yeah.
Structure, like.
Well, technically, our agricultural section does have a height limit on structures, but since the wind ordinance was created, I believe that overrides what's in the agricultural section for the height of structures.
Worth County said the total height of any.
That's what's going in now.
I think if you put the 500-foot limit in, there'll be a lot of pushback also because currently most turbine models are bigger than 500 feet and that would cut out most projects. So that would be like, you guys are targeting all of the current projects because.
You know,
it's bigger.
We're supposed to be afraid of pushback. They're pushing us.
Yeah, there's.
They're pushing us into this. I'm sorry, but I have strong feelings about this.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I know, you're being the
Back at you.
devil's advocate, or you're saying it.
It's no different than the $1 million that our board of supervisors caved to. If they were so willing to give $1 million, why not 5?
Right.
Why not 10? Why'd they only stop? I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, here's your $1 million. We're out of here.
Right.
Thank you very much.
And where are they at with, Salt Creek 2? That's what I want.
And they knew we were $1 million in debt. Okay. Shut them up, pay them $1 million. I mean, you got the #1 generating utility in the country fighting against us in Tama County.
Yeah.
Salt Creek 2, they did set a development agreement meeting, public hearing for September 8th at 9 a.m. Let me pull up the thing.
Who set that?
What? They
Who
set
was
up
it set by?
Board of Supervisors. Set that up on last Monday's meeting. You can hear it at the end of their YouTube video.
And they're setting a public hearing on Salt Creek 2?
Find it.
I don't have.
Now, is that a done deal or is that still up for,
It's called a development agreement. They want
I
public,
mean, do they
Yeah,
have all their?
It'll be,
I believe we need to be at board meetings before then because of 9:30 in the morning, public hearing does not allow the public to be there. It's only convenient to the board.
So yeah, September 8th at 9:30 AM, the Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing regarding a development agreement with Salt Creek Wind Phase 2.
That's kind of bogus. I mean, that, most people are working.
I'm hugely concerned that they're gonna basically, you know, say that nothing you've done or anything the Board of Adjustment could do, they decide what they're gonna do.
Then why do we even have them? Why are these guys sitting here putting?
That's,
Yeah, we're wasting our time.
that's
Money
what I'm saying,
talks.
it's the Monday morning.
Big money talks.
We've
I know.
got plenty of things we can do.
Board of Supervisor, just a.
Doesn't it have to go to the Board of Adjustment though, or it's illegal? I mean, I think.
That's what I-
That would be a question we should take to the Board of Supervisors, because we do have an ordinance that says these type of projects should go through that. I'm not sure if usually development agreements go through counties that don't have an ordinance, or if this is a normal thing. I've not had time to research much into that. But it's definitely something we could ask the supervisors if they.
I thought that I read in the
That's what
paper,
that deal was about
if you can believe what you,
weeks ago. Supervisor, right?
What'd you read, Doug?
well, if, I thought that I read after this settlement, that Salt Creek 2 is gonna be willing to see what the future ordinance was gonna be, and they would abide by it, future wind ordinance. That was in the paper in so many words, but I'm sure it's been twisted around.
Even if they don't wait to abide by your new one, I would hope they would at least be required to abide by our existing one, however small it may be, which, I don't know how the supervisors will be
Got a question.
I will,
reading that.
go ahead, Karen.
When I stayed after one of these meetings again on Monday, I think it was a week ago, I don't think it was just this 2 days ago or yesterday, whatever the date is. But anyway, I asked Mark if they were gonna stop phase 2 or if they were gonna vote for phase 2, and he said to me, how are we going to stop them? He said, what is different with phase 2 over phase 1 that you know of, you think that we will have the power to stop them? And I said, well, it's not a done deal for one thing. And I said, that was a Dr. Byrne project. And he said, well, do you realize it's going to go clear to Supreme Court if we try to stop it?
So.
I would
I'm
say,
telling you how that conversation went, because it went sort of like you guys are indicating, not a good way, not a good way.
Well, here's, should we actually know about it? Do we know if they followed any rules? Do we know if
Things closed session, we don't know
have
anything.
they filed anything properly? But we should be, that should be public information, what they are proposing. It should be public information to the citizens of Tama County. It has been before, we've gotten it all before, so that should be proposed to the public before any decision is made. That was why they were elected.
And so separately, I said to, not in the same room, not at the same time, Kurt Cook, I said, Kurt, if you guys go ahead with phase 2, they're gonna eminent domain where you live, and you've always thought you were so safe. I know. But when I said that to Mark, he said, oh no, they're not gonna be able to eminent domain. No, they won't be able to do that. So
Don't trust.
vested rights, it'll take it right into phase 3, the whole county, it's in my opinion.
I would say the biggest difference between phase 1 and phase 2 is that currently phase 2 does not have a conditional use permit that has been reviewed or approved. Versus when the Board of Supervisors went against phase 1, they had already received their conditional use permit and they'd already received building permits from the county. So that would be the biggest difference, is that it has not been reviewed or approved by, our county Board of Adjustment.
Well, that was.
So then they should have to agree, they would have to go by any guidelines we pass, then, wouldn't they? If we do that quick enough.
If we can get it done.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is that the, phase 2 did submit their conditional use permit application back at the end of December, which was before they placed the moratorium. So I could see their argument that they have started the process before the moratorium and before any change to the ordinance. Which, I mean, we do still have some, it's not like we didn't have any ordinance, so we do have some ordinance. And I would hope they would at least require them to follow that, because an ordinance is a law. But I don't know what this development agreement will come out of, so I would say pay attention. I don't know if there is a point to you guys updating this, if they'll just decide to do development agreements and not
Yeah.
regard your ordinances,
Well, here's my question.
which is a question you should take to the supervisors.
Yeah, my main question here then, listening to this is, so they submitted before January.
December before
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
So that submission came in. But they don't, it sounds like,
It's rejected though, wasn't it? The moratorium? Moratorium
well,
rejected
it was
that.
before the moratorium was placed, and I understand that. However, if we're gonna go ahead and let them have it because of, I said I wanted to,
Right.
why do I need to have any? I'm not gonna listen to any kind of zoning ordinance. If it's that simple, I'll just say, hey, I told you I wanted to do this. I don't care what you said. That's basically what's happening. I don't understand why we would enforce any ordinances if it's that simple to get around them. Why do we do this? Why are you guys putting your time in that?
Yeah.
That's shameful.
Maybe we do need, what meeting do we need to go to and voice our opinions? Just any supervisors meeting between now and this developmental
I'd say
agreement meeting?
sooner the better.
That's what Heather said, because they're not listening to her.
Well, they need to hear.
Mark is listening. Well, it's about me, I think it's Mark, but yeah, David, who sits over here, he's not really involved in that, in the turbine part of it. He's more, well, where can we get money and where can we save money? He's more the money guy. It's pretty much Mark doing it. And Heather is very sad, frustrated. It's just not listening to her at all. And Kurt Schilmer also, not listening to him either.
I know there was a real hot discussion between Heather and
Yeah.
Mark concerning the negotiations,
Right.
and,
Both times.
She was left out of the
she was
negotiation.
left out, even though phase one is in her district.
Right.
And there's nobody knows more about wind energy and what's gone on in the last few years than Heather.
She's totally researched.
So,
Absolutely.
I think the county was given a disfavor by letting Mark Dolan on that committee to negotiate, so,
Well, he's ahead of it. He's not just on it. He's
yeah.
doing most of the negotiations himself.
I gotta
I'm not saying anything against Mark.
be
I'm just
careful
saying
what
how
I
it's going
say,
now.
because I know we're on public,
Yeah.
but, I have my own opinion concerning what's going on here.
There's a comment online from Linda, says, is there a way to limit the number of turbines in the county? What's the saturation point? There are people that are physically affected by the turbines. Someone I know in the county gets physically nauseous driving through an area of turbines.
You can cap it, you can always have a cap.
That was what I would be favored.
We capped the amount of solar.
We put
This
two,
is true.
250 acre piece, 500 acre total.
I don't see one yet, but I'm sure there is.
I was thinking south of us, whoever south of us, they were talking about putting a cap on what's already, because they've already had thousands.
Or Mahaska's over, Fauci's.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was, but they're talking about capping because I think they're realizing they have too many. And that's-
Iowa County is also south and has.
Power sheet.
But I was,
I
but
was going to go.
They capped their stupid.
I
Need
do
to talk
remember
to
hearing
them.
that.
Yeah, I think they capped theirs.
Cornell's that direction.
Well,
we'd have, what, 100?
Solar by Montezuma. Yeah,
Power sheet.
there's so many there.
Well, and I think down south of us, they have like over 500, 600.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they've got a lot.
Parnell South of Williamsburg.
Yeah. Didn't we hear that they capped theirs?
I didn't hear that, but I heard that they got stopped from coming into a certain area, so I'll have to look into that more and see what they did to stop them. Yes, Karen.
Well, one other thing I've done in the last 2 weeks was ask 3 different engineers what the effect underground is when because I had been down to Montezuma, Keokuk County. When you have so many tall, refurbished, maybe 500 to 800 feet going round and round and round, what is the effect way down underneath in the ground? When we're under earthquake, always awareness for earthquakes.
on the fault lines. And all three of them told me they had never even thought about that before. That many stems, even a straight line wind, you know, just like that, you know. That's nothing for us to have a 60-mile-an-hour wind now. And all three engineers, one was from Fishers and two were in Marshall County. And anyhow, they said they never even thought about it before. So a week later, I asked one of them again if he'd had time to ponder it. He said, it just can't be good. He said, they've been thinking about it ever since I brought it up to him. Because you don't think about it, it's down.
Right.
You don't see it. That was, and that will be the case even if they break and they're still standing there. And that one gal, Kathleen or whatever her name is, told the board that they would last 30, 35 years. And I corrected her and I said, you mean 10 years. They'll be standing there 35 years. The contract is 35 years, but you mean 10 years before they break. She did not contest me. She just let it drop. And that was at one of our supervisor meetings, probably 2 weeks ago, probably the same week that I tried talking to Mark about it. And yeah,
When is the public comment period for supervisor meetings?
and
Now?
right at the beginning and right at the end.
8:30 to start off with, and then at the end, they usually remember to ask if there's more public comment.
And you
I think
never
they're
know when,
very quick to adjourn last week.
you never know when the end is gonna be.
Never do.
No. But that's usually if something comes up during the meeting that you want to comment on.
So I would like to at least tell them that they need to be patient with the board, zoning board, to let us develop a WEX ordinance that is up to date.
At the
Because
beginning, they don't have a set amount of time for it to end, so if nobody comments or if only one person comments, then they end it and go into the meeting, so it's not like you can wait and get here right
You
at
gotta jump
a
in
certain
there
time and jump in at the end, you have to be here, or they.
at 8 o'clock. Actually, yeah.
8:30.
Plus, if they have closed session, we all have to go to the hallway and wait, and it could be 2 hours.
But they will allow public comment before closed
Yes,
session?
at 8:30 or thereabouts, 8:40.
Because why should we go through all this if they're not gonna listen to it?
That's what I think.
Would you like to get a start on comments from our ordinance of which areas, or do you wanna wait until you get the work one?
I think it'd be a good idea for everybody to get a copy of the work.
Let's get a copy of this one going around.
Yes.
Everybody look it over, and we can put in whatever we need to out of our present ordinance. We would put that into here if we need to, if there's other
Right.
things, if this doesn't address it already.
And then we add what we wanna add.
And then we add anything else that needs to be added, but I think they're pretty, they went to eminent domain, they've done Flecker studies, they can only have a Flecker 30 hours out of a month. They've done some things.
Research.
Research and stuff that we have not done, and I wouldn't know to put in there.
Right.
I don't think we know, we don't know anything about that.
In our own ordinance, where it says for property sizes between 1 and 2 acres, is that where the tower goes in? I mean, is that the location of where the tower is going in, 1 or 2 acres? It's in that permitted uses 1. It says special use.
That's non-commercial, I think.
So our ordinance has both non-commercial and commercial. I think non-commercial, think more like the Van Wall where it's
Okay,
individual. That would also probably be if a person wanted one. So you need to go to the commercial section for,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
see,
print off
for
the work
property
one real
size,
quick for
whatever.
everybody so we can get started. We have time. You don't need another copy, do you?
You can pull it up online, can't you?
Yeah, and it'll print right over there.
Can you make sure that somebody gets me one that I can open up on computer
Andy,
too?
make copies. I just printed a bunch. Oh, did you? Okay, if you wanna grab them off the printer when I come.
I made a bunch of notes in this one.
Thanks, Andy.
Were you able to? If she said one, she.
Just make sure we get one that I can work with on the computer.
For Word?
Yeah, I just need it sent to me electronically and then I'll convert it.
You can convert PDF to Word document, right?
Yeah.
Because when I tried it was really bad.
Well, you're gonna have to fix it for me later on, but yes, I can do it.
Okay.
That's what I have you around for, right?
Okay, I've got the link. I can email it to you.
Okay. Cause I will,
Yep, that's what
I
I'm
will,
here for.
yeah,
I can format for you.
no, cause I can, when I go to open it, I can open it in Word so that I can manipulate it.
I was not good with that, so.
Well, I wasn't either. That's why you had to refarm it that. I can get it open. It's not gonna be perfect.
That I sent you for of ours that's in Word, that was like, it all came in one big sentence and I had to keep hitting it. Here, all right, it's coming at you. Worth County, in just a second, Worth County.
I just need that something to work with.
Okay, there's a PDF link. Yeah, really, if you copy paste into the whole thing, that'll give you at least the words.
Well,
but-
if we're not going to work, if we're going to basically take from our own, put that'll be easier because it's easier to put something into that and try to copy paste out.
As far as my own, hope for this, what is wrong with the alphabet? I would like to request that you do the same that you did for the solar and attic in the requirement for the printed copies and, extension wording and, like building permit expiration or cup expiration if building permits are not required. That kind of thing. Application fees, I think that was one that I'd asked to get added for solar, that kind of thing. You guys can take care of all the other specifics, right? Let me see if I can fix, this is like the fourth time our video's cut out. I don't know if it's my computer, I'm on a different computer than usual.
We're waiting for the copies to be printed. Could we talk about our next meeting dates before we're all wore out mentally?
We could do legally 2 weeks, which would be August 27th would be a Wednesday. I can get notice in time for that.
You can.
Yeah.
How does it look for anybody? Are you gonna be gone then or
No.
you'll be back?
I'll be back by then, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just leaving Sunday to Sunday, so I'll be back.
Wade's gonna check with his home thing. I looked at the calendar before I left home and Wednesdays are open. Are they okay for you, Carol?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anything is good. If there's something going on with school, I'll let you know, but
Yep.
usually it's just conferences at the end of October and March.
So we,
Around that.
so you could legitimately,
August
Carol,
27th.
what school do you
Wednesday.
work in?
Do we have
East Marshall,
anything?
Laurel.
When do they start?
I go back to work next Monday and then a week later on the 25th,
27th.
kids come.
You have anything on the calendar for 27th?
August 25th.
Yes.
I did already check with Karen, she said the 27th is available for.
open or not?
I have permission.
You have permission?
What?
I have
He's
permission.
good to go.
Permission for the 27th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's set our next meeting date for 2 weeks from tonight then, huh?
Okay.
At 6 PM again.
Sounds good.
And we'll review the Worth County ordinance, what we don't look at tonight, and we'll look at it again, and we'll
Okay. so
probably
we'll-
ask for public
we'll
comment again.
For you guys to be able to jump around topics, with reviewing and incorporating. Works.
Can we say something about welcoming public comment to that meeting? or
Yes,
what
we'll,
we should
we
do?
will welcome public comment if you guys are ready for that.
You're ready? if
Yeah,
that's
don't
okay.
you think?
That's how we get where we get to.
Right. Comment.
Public comment, I think, it addresses specific things like flicker, like noise or, density.
And you want to primarily compare against the Worth County, correct?
At this point in time,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's,
For a starting point?
that's where we're starting.
Well, you guys have a lot to pick from. If you have other sources that you want to review, there are a lot of wind ordinances out there. A lot more than community solar wind.
Hey, have you looked at any other ones? I mean, like I said, I've looked at a bunch of them up north where I knew there was a lot of,
For wind or for solar?
for wind.
Trying to think, I had researched a bunch a while back and I can't remember
There were
exactly.
all those west of Des Moines that are out there, Mid-American Bill, a whole bunch of them along Interstate 80 there. I don't know.
They've been there a
Guthrie
long
County, I
time.
suppose that'd be, it's outside of Polk County, I know, but maybe Warren County.
Need a map of Iowa to show it.
Yeah, I'll look it up there, but I didn't know if you looked at any other ones or not, or.
Not that I
have on the tip of my gun right now.
I'll look through a bunch more too and just see what I.
Well, then I'm also worried about confusing in my mind which ones I've looked at for solar and which ones I've looked at for wind.
Do we wanna look at anything out of state?
I would say maybe try to keep it to the Midwest, just so it's similar landscape, similar mindset. I mean, you can look wherever you want to. If you find stuff in Europe that's great, or Canada that's great, by all means.
Indiana has.
I know
Some
Michigan
sort of-
has tried to get a lot of.
Along 90.
But their topography, geography is a whole lot different than ours in Michigan.
Is it Indiana or Ohio where the state did take over wind, ordinance requirements? One of them, the state took over and North County's.
Indiana's a lot flatter. Ohio
What
gets
did
into the
they
hills, so I'm
say,
not
though?
sure.
Did they allow them or disallow
Oh, they were allowing them wherever they wanted.
Yeah.
them?
I can't remember what state it was, which.
I wanna say it was Ohio. It could be in one, but Mark brought that up, he said pretty soon we're not gonna have any power.
Thanks,
anymore.
Andrea.
Wow.
Thank
Oh,
you.
one of those is for me, because you already had a copy.
All right. That's pretty good in my printer, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right.
Warm.
Thank you.
And Carol, I did email you the.
Yeah. That'll be good. I'll start making it back tonight.
I can, I'm off tomorrow, but if you can wait till Friday, I can try to do the, at least basic
Well, this is,
separating for you.
So if I can get it open, I'll send it back to you. And you can mess with it and
I mean,
see.
I can copy it into Word doc too, but last time I tried to do that out of our own ordinance, it was just like one big paragraph.
Let's see what I can do with it.
Currently, our window ordinance is within our large zoning ordinance. It does also have that second amendment where it's separate. If we end up doing it large like this Worth County one, we may want to suggest the board keep it separate, like I'm not suggesting that they put that big solar one in our big one either. It'd make it a 120-page zoning.
No, I think that really needs to be separate.
So if they just say, reference our window ordinance for that, even if it's out there. But yeah, if we do longer than 7 pages, what our current one is, I do think we should recommend that they have that.
30 hours. Per year.
Yeah, 30 hours per year or more than 30 minutes per day.
Right, 30 hours, I thought first you said 30 hours a month, and then really got it. But even that. I guess, compared to living in a city, that might not be so bad, but.
But at least they've got some thought behind it, and they've also done some scientific studies on what it looks like to me.
DHL, that's like. It's THL land over. THL. See the definitions.
This is a pretty clean setup. I mean, the way they have this set, this.
Yeah, I like this one. It all made sense.
Yeah.
Through it. THL is turbine hosting land. THL.
Sounds like a kind
So
of
wait.
TV show.
Yeah, it's on page 10.
Yeah.
DHL,
Yeah.
Steve found.
That's it.
CWESCS turbine is installed. Their setbacks, I don't know, looks like they put some pretty good thought into their setbacks too, on this. And at least it gives us something about a real guideline, right?
Do they have a CSR on that?
Nice complaint resolution.
Do they have a CSR,
But I haven't seen any,
I haven't seen anything like that.
no.
That's like the number one thing, and then all else. I understand.
Not the definitions.
Well, you know, and you're far.
And this baby's coordinate, nobody likes to farm like this.
Nobody likes to, but then, if the guy's getting the money from the tower, he's probably gonna farm.
Yeah, but he's not gonna get an airplane with fire on.
No, that's right.
Pioneer, that, yeah,
They're gonna lose seed corn.
yeah, you're gonna lose the seed
It's
corn.
gonna hurt a lot of farmers if we lose seed corn.
Yeah, I already heard that from.
My drones are smacking the towers. You see them drones all over.
They're getting bigger too, some of them
Yeah.
are.
All about airports that are access.
Okay. So that's pretty much the, disturbing hosting last thing, yes. So, no, this is.
Yeah, no shadow effect. You're occupied. So they're.
I looked at, I don't think they have a CSR restriction because it says, while the county has considered and implemented measures to regulate wind energy development, the current status of specific restrictions, particularly regarding CSR and their impact on new wind projects remain subject to the ongoing legal situation.
Yeah.
So they don't have, that's why there's nothing in this. They don't have.
We've got an ongoing legal situation up there.
Yeah. They don't have a CSR on it.
What page are you on?
No, I was reading that on mine. I was just looking at mine. I just asked if they had a CSR because it's not in here. So I wondered if they had anything, but they don't have one. And it could be that the way they've written this is so restrictive anyway, that it wouldn't have mattered what the CSR was.
Yes.
Isn't the CSR already in the Tama County Code, the land use?
The land use agreement or the land use statement is a guideline for you guys in your future ordinances and also future decisions possibly by other boards. But it is not in itself an ordinance or a law.
But isn't it applicable to any siting in the county?
You would need to reference it in your, like you had referenced it in the solar, it's not a law. in
So
itself.
we'll have to, if we want that, it has to go in here.
That might be clear, yeah.
You could add it as a reference to the,
It's not a binding
yeah, it's not
ordinance,
binding.
but it's a recommendation which you guys could use as a reason to put it in there.
Right.
And I think we should consider that. The land use agreement. Anything over 60 CSR,
That's
strictly be for agriculture.
Let's have that's no count 25,000 investment away from blank testing. All testing shall be paid for by the county except the license guys. It's investigated and determined as in compliance. If minimum noise complaint, noise determined measure at the location specified that exceeded either the limit specified in section 1.3, 1.4, will be non-compliant and be required to remove from operation until such time as noise complaint is resolved.
In other words, they need to be shut down.
Yeah, I think you could shut it down. If it was too noisy. I mean, I like, they've thought about a lot of things. We
Well,
will.
some things like noise and things are health hazards, and that's why they need to be addressed.
Yes.
And some of them are just things that are annoying, but then there are things that are health hazards, and that's it.
So the shadow flicker is saying that someone that has one on their property still can't have more than 30 minutes per day.
And that, you
30
can have
hours
on your
per year.
property and have flicker, and you got little kids. And you know, or it's nothing with, yeah, and they're getting mentally stressed
Not
by
good
it.
for 'em.
Yeah, exactly. And just because you want one on your property and you don't see your children having, you know,
Symptoms.
symptoms and things like that.
And the next, number 2 says no shadow flicker on adjacent.
Adjacent, right,
Yeah, you can't have any, yeah.
And then we may need to broaden that up, because that's the same thing, if kids are out playing in the yard, maybe the shadow flicker isn't hitting the house, but it's
Bothering them.
in their living area or something like that.
No project there with a 75 total turbines either. Yeah, maybe turbine.
Where's that at?
That's on page 16, B. That total height is 500 feet, and then no projects shall have more than 75 total turbines.
So does this just mean like we already have, when you got 60 with this present project?
And we can set that at anything we want.
Well,
can't
that's
we?
interesting, yeah.
It just says 75, we can
They
put
put 75, we could put in less.
less, right, if we desire.
If phase two goes through, that's another 27 turbines plus whatever's in the county for Vienna, which I think is 10. Is that right? Does anybody know?
I thought it was 20 some.
Is it 20 for
Isn't
Vienna?
it Vienna?
Oh, there's more than that.
I
But
think
in
it's
Tama
20.
County, how many are?
Isn't it 20?
It's gotta be at least 20.
I think so.
I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're putting in 2 more. They're off of 96.
Those two are for phase one.
Is that,
That's already Salt Creek one.
okay, let's see, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, at least 20.
In
'Cause I
Tama
think the
County, on
whole-
the
yeah,
Tama County side.
The whole Vienna was like 51.
So
How
that
many are
would be-
going up with phase 1?
Phase one has 60 and phase two would have 27 if that gets approved. So that would be 97.
That's almost 100, yeah.
Yeah.
Is my math right?
Well, it's 107. 20 in Vienna, 60 in phase 1 and 27 in phase 2 is
Yeah, my math, sorry.
107.
107 here.
Great on you when people can't do mental math anymore.
I'm writing it down. Trust myself.
That's what went up, are you? North of.
I'm a secondary teacher, so I teach it all.
We counted on one day, there's about 110 there. That just went up in the last 3 or 4 years. This is
Or maybe how fast they put those in.
but those I think aren't 500 foot, those are like 350, something like that.
What is their height restriction in this place?
500.
500?
You think that's what they're, 350?
Well, we were guesstimating as we're driving through, and they didn't seem like they were 500.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, the angles are just.
The Vienna ones are-
Pretty darn close
Height.
to 63.
So they gotta be, the bottom of the blade has to be 75 feet off the ground.
Does this phase 1 get away with the 50-foot clearance, or are they
Yeah.
No.
like what they did with Vienna lowering it?
Vienna had to go through a variance request with the Board of Adjustment and they received that variance. through the
Yeah,
Board
I
of
know.
Adjustment. The, Salt Creek one has not gone through that process yet. I'm guessing when they try to repower eventually, they will try for that. It would have to go through Board of Adjustment, same as Vienna had to, if they want to do that.
Board of Adjustment didn't do us any favor.
That was the previous Board of Adjustment.
Right. What I don't like.
Well,
is
I think their
the
biggest
vested
comment
rights.
was that nobody in the area footprint came to have any comment on it at all. So while public did come and comment against it, nobody from,
But we didn't know about it. It's one of those transparency things. If you don't know what's gonna happen, what are you gonna do?
Well,
it was in the paper and it did get mailed.
I
to
don't get a
everybody.
paper.
Okay, it did get mailed to everybody.
there were a couple people there that said they had been told. They knew about it because they were talking about it. And they said, well, we're against it, but it doesn't do us any good to show up because we have the gag. So I actually requested if they, you know, they said, well, we'll talk to them, we'll be friendly. And I said, well, truly the only way these people are gonna trust that is if you take the gag order out of there. And I pushed for it, and we were friendly bantering, but in the end, I think there was some kind of number thrown out about how they couldn't do that because there's so many contracts, and I said, well, we just need to start somewhere, so go ahead and start with those 20.
Yeah. That's that's everybody's opinion, they just,
They're scared to say it.
or some of them are afraid to say anything, and then so many are just, it doesn't make any difference what we do, we get stomped on anyway, so.
Well, even if you think you're gonna get stomped on, you gotta come in and talk. I mean,
Yeah,
that,
But if that wasn't in the contracts, then we wouldn't have to worry about that. We would hear.
Jody, as far as you or anyone else that you talk to, the county does have a notification system set up where you can sign up for email notifications.
I got that now.
And you can pick which notifications you want. If you just want Board of Supervisors, if you just want Board of Adjustment, if you want everything and then just delete it out to get it. I started doing that as well before I got this job, so. So yeah, pass that on to people you're talking to that
Yeah.
they need to be aware, and to be
Get
aware,
on
you
it.
need to get those.
Do they have signal, this is ours? And it's like your manual communication.
It just says that it's not very much, like our solar decommissioning have way more.
Yeah, I didn't see much in here at all.
Now they've got like one page that just says you'll follow these.
Moving forward with our discussion on when you might want to keep bringing your solar ordinance drafts with you, if you want to reference things like decommissioning or notifications.
That's a good point.
These type of stuff.
'Cause really, that's gonna be the same thing, where whatever you're decommissioning, basically is gonna have the same version.
So anything that's not specific to the wind or the solar, I mean, you could possibly carry those over, have some synergy between the two, save yourself some research, that type of thing.
Was it one bar that had me? You can call us.
If there were. There's something in the decommissioning where they had to get it.
So deep under the ground.
In some, they were like 3 feet deep, out of that, and. We're a little deeper now.
Which country do they go in?
Yours,
I
I heard of something like that.
under
yeah, I've got something you guys can look at.
It's a lot. I know that. It's hard to believe. Amount of
This
time.
is one of the sites.
and make a comment, you think, but it isn't
Yeah,
green
it
energy.
go much
it's all
deeper than
green
that.
energy.
You can see that the person's hand right there,
Scale,
for scale.
and mining, and everything else that goes into it.
how's it go?
Oh, it was something like that. They
This
said,
little white chairs,
It doesn't actually go that
Plant
much
there and
deeper
there.
than what you
Our
see on the
county
rebar there.
trucks
Like,
that line it is
I thought I had seen some stuff online where
getting ready.
it went way deeper and it
What's
does
this?
not.
Like a swimming pool?
Well, that's the hole.
Yeah, so, they said it does not go much deeper than what that rebar that you're seeing there is. So yes, they cover it all up to that.
I've heard they
pedestal
go 60 feet in the ground, but.
It's hard to tell that depth of this picture though.
part. You can kind of see the person's arm right there.
You mentioned.
They've got it, so,
Yeah, it's hard to tell the depth.
but that much weight and that high in the air, it's gotta be.
But thank you.
But
for
it doesn't
showing.
actually go vertical below, like, it doesn't go slope out and then vertical drop, it just slopes out and that's the end. So.
If you can trust that picture that was taken.
I took a picture.
And it's been done digging.
Yes,
Well, if the rebar's there, they're not
Rebar's at the
gonna,
bottom.
the rebar's in.
I don't trust anybody. Could have been one, they said, well, this was not the way to do it, but take the picture, and show this is what we're doing. I'm sorry, Laura, I'm very skeptical,
I.
but thank you for taking that picture.
Well, we've got 7:30. Should we adjourn this meeting for tonight and look through these between now and next 2 weeks?
What, I guess the question I have, once we get this, what else, what's next?
When? You mean, and once we're done with when?
Can we get when done, and
We've got, community solar that there's a moratorium on, that we need to create one. I have a feeling it'd be somewhere between the residential and the utility mashed together. With taking into account, it'd be more for city use or co-op use. After that, there are some issues with our main zoning ordinance that I would like you guys to review. Primarily the conditional use and variance fees. I believe those are original to the 1998 version. And inflation has gone quite up, and so has newspaper notification costs. Postage costs have gone up. I think we're losing money on variance charges, and we're very close to losing money on any conditional use permit charges.
Is there anything we could just, take 15 minutes out of a meeting and change one of those,
We could.
put it back in, and have,
We could possibly, we would have to hold a public hearing when you're ready to pass that recommendation on, but we could do it, at the beginning of the meeting, come back to when.
I think that's a great idea.
if
And
there's
then
things that need to
also,
be changed, I think.
you might want to review the fee structure. Some other, counties have, higher fee structure. Again, this was the same as what was printed in the 1998 one. Other counties I've talked to, or seen their posts on, they've got, a clause in their ordinance where if somebody starts building before they get their building permit request in, the fees double. And that has really cut down on people building without getting their
I like
permits.
that too, yeah.
Whereas,
Probably would be double.
per the state of Iowa, agricultural use buildings do not get charged a fee anyway, but that would still take care of, business, shops, houses, additions. But right now, a lot of the time, we don't figure out that they built something till the assessor does their yearly check and goes back with, hey, you have to get a building permit for that one. So then you're trying to catch up and get that back. And then if somebody
Give us
builds.
some recommendations of what other counties are charging.
Yep, I can look into that. I can't have it, I can try to have it for next week, but
That'd be great.
I'll have to see by Friday to get that on the public notice, so.
15, 20 minutes on that before you.
If it's not a big rewrite,
No.
just to edit and.
And then, but
Something like that.
it's affecting counties
Right.
monetarily.
Like, I know multiple zoning administrators back from when they first initiated this 1998 ordinance through, I think Bob did one last year. Put something in the paper that says, hey, remember, you need to get a zoning permit. People still don't. They're like, oh, I own my land. I didn't think we needed one. Well, you do. Or, some excuse or another. We didn't think we had one.
We're very independent thinkers. Whether it's good or not.
And I mean, if they build it, they don't get the permit approved. And they build it, within the setbacks you guys have set. There aren't a lot of, we need to make sure we've got the right wording in there for remediation by the county, that kind of thing. And then there's at least one spelling change that I just need to fix, but I don't think that'll be too much.
Before we adjourn, I just want to remind the board, and you correct me if I'm wrong, please. We will be presenting our solar ordinance utility scale this coming
This
Monday.
coming Monday, yes.
And it would be at what time?
After public comment, so I would get here by 8:30 though.
All right. And it'll be on the agenda.
That's what Karen told me, it could be on the agenda, yes.
All right.
If for some reason it's not on the agenda, we can slip into public comment time, and deal with that.
All right.
I believe it'll be on the agenda.
For that September 8th meeting, they put down 9:30 AM for the public hearing on Salt Creek Wind, September 8th, that's what they said. Then that would be at 9:30.
Yep. We talked about that. I don't know if you were here when we talked about that.
It's a, you
If you would want to do that for this coming Monday, put it down, put it on for 9:30. Get it in the agenda.
Well, we don't need a specific time, okay, because it's not a public.
Okay.
Wade's wondering what time we should be here again, Monday?
8:30.
8:30.
I'm gonna have to remember the whole weekend.
Call your wife and have her write it on the calendar. That's what I do. Well, my wife's here. I move to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Been moved second to adjourn. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Is there any discussion? Let's adjourn.
They didn't give us a chance, right? Smart man.
All right, Doug.
Oh, I need to sign something, don't I?
Yep, go ahead and sign this now.
Well, I'll be thinking of you next week. Put it on the calendar. Monday.
I will probably.
8:30.
I've got it in right here.
Yeah. We're presenting the.
There's a better picture of what they're doing
Yeah, I'll just.
with their bases.
Well, it's just to get it.
This is the size. What's going, they're 85 feet across.
It's the one with.
8:30.
8:30.
Okay.
Can we write it on?
I could call you.
She's got
All right.
5 years.
8:30.
18 feet deep and 85 feet across.
This all down here is for.
Let's see.
I'm gonna fly her away.
She does.
Now, I told Karen, I'm not sure if this is approved tonight, because I took this off the previous recommendation.
This
So
was
then
an item.
it's for them to say, we approve your request and then.
The Irish.
Or if it's like waiting until
This is
after
like
they
the side
get
of the
the
road.
public hearing and then they sign up.
The road is like right here, you know.
Right, right.
That was
So,
higher.
I'll bring this to present on Monday.
Driving around, I saw like
If you
some
get it, I'll
great
hand it off to you.
windmills. And then-
All right.
They've got a lot of ancient.
But they are more global warming. I mean, they're just way over the. Well, I guess. Like I said, you can't cut down a tree.